you from your money. In a CNBC investigation, Eamon Javers unrails the crypto nightmare that all starts with a phone call.
Dr. Anders Apgar and his wife were out to dinner in January with their children, and his phone just wouldn't stop buzzing. The voice message was alarming.
Hello. Welcome to Coinbase Security Prevention Line. We have detected unauthorized activity.
That caught his attention since he and his wife, who are both obstetricians, had more than $100,000 in Bitcoin invested through Coinbase, the country's largest crypto platform. Apgar had a bad feeling as soon as he answered.
Something in the back of your head said didn't quite feel right.
Correct. And it
But
didn't
it was
feel
just
perfect.
convincing enough.
For an instant, he was convinced it was real.
We have detected unauthorized activity due failed login attempt in your account. This was requested from an Canada IP address. If this not you, please press 1.
That says to secure your account, hit 1.
Yeah.
So I hit 1.
Yeah.
And as I hit 1, the two-factor authentication came through, and I saw a text come through. And this is where, honestly, it gets hazy, almost like when people say they were in a car accident, and I can't remember the details of what happened. And I looked at my wife and I said, something is wrong. And I said, let's try and get into it. I said, let's get to the account. And so when we opened the Coinbase app, we could no longer get into the account.
How long was it from the time that two-factor authentication came in to the time that you checked the account?
Maybe less than 2.
Less than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So you tap something on your phone, and 2 minutes later, you're out of your account.
Gone.
And the money was gone.
Absolutely gone. I have no idea at this point. The access to the money was gone.
The account was completely locked. The culprit was apparently part of an increasing trend, a one-time password bot programmed to trick you into thinking your account's getting hacked, but in reality, it's stealing your two-factor or 2FA authentication code. Jessica Kelly is an analyst at cybersecurity firm Q6, which is a CNBC contributor, and authored a report about how these bots work.
That information gets sent to the bot, which then automatically sends it to the cyber criminal, which then has access to the victim's account, which is the exact opposite of what the victim thinks in that moment.
Fraudsters openly sell the bots on Telegram, targeting not only Coinbase, but also other platforms, banks, social media accounts, anywhere you use two-factor authentication.
Thank you for calling Coinbase. Is this Sean? How can I help you today?
Sometimes the calls aren't bots, they're real people. On this call is someone impersonating a Coinbase employee. On the other end of the line is Coinbase customer David Silver.
Immediately, it was an electronic voice that told me it was Coinbase fraud department. And I immediately turned to the lawyer sitting next to me and said, start videoing. I knew instantaneously what this was and what it was going to be.
They called the wrong guy. Silver is not only a Coinbase customer, but an attorney who happens to specialize in cryptocurrency fraud.
You are not going to get any access to any individual or human being, okay? You are going to get connected with our server.
Silver was astounded at how much information the fraudster already had.
They had a phone number for me to call back on. The second thing they said to me was, we can't send you an email because your personal email is already compromised, which obviously I knew was not true.
After nearly 7 minutes,
Great, thank you very much.
Silver ended the call. That's what Anders Apgar wishes he had done. Just hang up. Instead, he says, the ordeal was like watching a theft in progress.
It would be as though we had cameras at the house and we couldn't go home and we could watch people just taking stuff out of our house.
Coinbase tells us that it never makes unsolicited calls to its customers and cautions against disclosing your personal information to anyone over the phone before you check it out. As far as Dr. Apgar goes, he says he still can't get back into his account because the fraudsters changed the email address.
Good evening, fellow watchers of the Empire Crypto TV. My name is Stone. On another episode of Empire Crypto TV, we're live here in Johannesburg in the afternoon, and please be sure to subscribe and win, and do invite your friends. You know, the problems that we are experiencing here in South Africa and in Africa, it's also experienced all over the world, and a lot of people are taking advantage of people who seem to not know so much about the market, and that can lead to to things like this, where people are just going up on live TV and showing themselves and exposing these people. And it's a very difficult thing to go through as a person, losing thousands and thousands of rands or dollars. No matter how much money you are putting yourself into, you always have to do your research when you are going into investment, if you are doing cryptocurrencies. And you always have to be careful of the things that you put out there, especially if you are not well informed. So information and education will always be the key factor in anything in that matter. It can be cryptocurrencies, can be anything. But the investigators, luckily, they caught the people that they were doing this whole shenanigan with people who are just normal ordinary citizens who are trying to get an income, or trying to get a chance to try to make as much money as they can, like everybody else that they see on the platform, on the media lines. But yeah, let us just hope that wherever these people are in the world, I hope they get help very soon. And since things are so difficult, people are losing money, and I don't think that is fair at all for someone who just comes in and then they just get money for free after their hard earned money that they've worked for, and it just disappeared just like that, as you heard the guy. Of course, we are looking at the charts today. We are looking at the BTC. We are looking at the sideways pattern at this point, and the market as a whole is uncertain. There are a lot of uncertainties that are happening in and around the world, and we are looking at specifically cryptocurrencies. Of course, also are the instruments that are affecting the monetary value all around the world. And we are talking stocks, we are talking the dollar, we are talking all sorts of news that are happening in and around the world. This is the mid-week trend and everything that has been happening in the week. The video that I just showed you, it's a video that just happened a day ago. And cyber security is something that is highly needed in the cryptocurrency space. I think that the sooner the authorities come to grips of the realities of cryptocurrencies and their existence, hopefully we could get help. Investors that are purely invested in cryptocurrencies or in the digital space can provide some kind of support, some extra support that can build a sort of community that can help people to trust the investment platforms wherever it may be cryptocurrencies, stocks, or wherever it may be, because hacks and other cyber security crimes are caused in many other various places other than cryptocurrencies. And we're looking at the Bitcoin right now, railing in between the 43,000 mark and $44,000 per mark. It has not reached over $44,000 mark, which I wish that it would happen in that occasion. But now, because now there is so much happening in the world, since there was threats, there was threats that Russia could have attacked Ukraine. There are some traders that they still, that the story is still intact, even though it was announced that Russia would back some of his troops up, or would tell some of the troops to move out of the Ukraine area. And that brought a lot of light into investors and traders. So it brought some bullish trends yesterday in the last 24 hours, as you see these large candlesticks here that are formed. But after that, the news that had also circulated, there was a lot of skepticism. So the market sort of went sideways, and we can learn a little bit more about sideways patterns like we have done before in the previous episode. Let us just read a little bit more so that we can have an understanding of what is happening in the market technically. Understanding sideways market, sideways, that is what you call a sideways trend, the one that I just showed you on the crypto on the Bitcoin chart. Okay, a sideways market consists of relatively horizontal price movement that occur when the forces of supply and demand are nearly equal for some period of time. So this supply and demand, I would call it skepticism. The traders are just holding back, not buying or selling, but the supply and demand can also refer to another issue within the market. So there are many issues that can cause a sideways trend, but in this way, it is caused by skepticism. Here, they talk about supply and demand. This typically occurs during a period of consolidation before the price continues a prior trend or reverses into a new trend. So it is not certain what is going to happen, because I have my support, I have my resistance, my support at just below $43,000 per coin, and my resistance just above $44,000 per coin. So I'm uncertain what is going to occur. It can go beyond $44,000 per coin and can go right under, you see. So, but wherever the breakthrough happens, that the trend is likely to continue to a bullish trend or a bearish trend. So for those who are hoping for a bullish trend, they can only wait until the market breaks $44,000 per coin and beyond. Before that, it is a likely chance that the market can retrace back or regress under $43,000 back to your $41,000 per coin. There is no certainty about this sideways trend, because for me, I look at it as a bullish sideways trend, or a bullish sideways trend, because we had a bearish sideways trend a few weeks ago. But let's continue reading with the sideways trend. More educational than it is, sideways markets are generally the result of a price traveling between strong levels of support and resistance. As I stated there, it is not uncommon to see a horizontal trend dominate the price action of specific asset for a prolonged period before starting a new trend, higher or lower. These periods of consolidation are often needed during the prolonged trend, as it is nearly impossible for such large price moves to sustain themselves over a long term. So it would not last for a very long time, this sideways trend. But even if it doesn't last for a long time, where will it go? Bullish or bearish? It will depend whether it breaks the $43,000 mark and so forth. And also joining us also on the cryptocurrency space, we also look at the BNB, the native coin for the Binance platform or exchange, also having the same market formation or market pattern that has formed by the BTC. It is a sideways trend, though it has been a bit stronger than most coins that I have observed in the coin market cap. Just letting it to reveal the data right there. So a bit, not to say a bit, but very similar, because cryptocurrencies are always running in correlation with one another. If the Bitcoin falls, it's likely most cryptocurrencies do fall or join the Bitcoin for that matter. I would not look deep into Ethereum, because Ethereum also has a similar trend. Until then, I'm waiting for the day when Ethereum releases a project where they announce about their proof of stake input in their system. Here is Binance, very small buying and selling as well. Sideways trend, horizontal. You have your support here. You can put your support basically anyway if you're trading your BNB. You can put it at 421, and then you can put your resistance right up there at 443. It depends on which level do you think that it may break through. But whatever level it may break through, whether uptrend or downtrend, it is likely that the trend will continue to wherever it may break through. And I'm also looking at my support and resistance, and not my support and resistance, my RSI, my relative strength index in the BNB, it's at 45. Now remember, 30 and above, 70 and above, it means overbought. 30 and below, it's oversold. So it's in between that 45 RSI relative strength index, which is the indicator that indicates the buying power or the selling power of a particular instrument or an asset that is presented on the market on a particular time as we are looking at it. And also I was looking at ADA, also trapped, but ADA has a slightly different trend that has formed in this late afternoon. Looking at hourly charts, by the way, I know normally in the past few days I've been looking at one-day charts, preaching about the uptrend of the checkmate, but we are looking at now the 1 hour chart that shows us another different version of the market. So there are different versions that you can look at the market depending on how you are trading. And when you're looking at your 1 hour charts, you're looking at your 4 hour charts, you're looking at your 15-minute chart, you are looking at intraday charts. These are charts that occur within a day's trading, and they have a grand change within the day itself. Now, looking at the ADA itself, not so sideways like the previous Bitcoin and the BNB coin. It has its own unique trend that is forming. You can see that it has that green bullish candlestick that is trying to form to try to reclaim that powerful uptrend or the bullish trend. At 1.09, Cardano just reached its $1 mark, and I can put my resistance right here at the bottom at 1.066, and my support at 1.066, and my resistance right up there. But that could be too far away for a 1 hour chart. It may take us too long, but 1.116 is my resistance. If it breaks that resistance, it could be a signal that this coin will likely to pick up once again to the position. Even the ADA community hoped to see the ADA to be getting stronger over time, but we haven't seen that as of yet because the correlation with the Cardano and the Bitcoin is too strong. And how do I speak like that? I'm also looking at the coinmarketcap.com because clearly coinmarketcap.com indicates this reality that Bitcoin holds up to or more than 40% of the cryptocurrencies. So that's a lot. And Ethereum only holds about 18.8% of the entire ecosystem of cryptocurrencies. These are the most powerful cryptocurrencies that are observed at this point in time. It hasn't changed. It's been 9 years or even 10 years and above, or more than 12 years since this dominance has been established. Can it be changed? We can never know. And looking at the marketcap.com, we are standing at 1.9 trillion for 24-hour trading within the cryptocurrency space, with 17,593 crypto coins, exchanges, 459 exchanges that are involved or that are being backed by coinmarketcap.com. Looking at the market itself looking red, Bitcoin having lost. It's been a downtrend, uptrend, downtrend, sideways trend. There is no much certainty, not much buying and selling. It's sort of like people are waiting for something to happen, and until that thing happens, then people are gonna have some sort of a confidence, or they're going to have confidence to pull out or to invest even more. Okay, and Ethereum also lost like 4.0%. It lost bigger than the Bitcoin at this point in time. Hence, I see the BNB is thriving, the native coin for the Binance exchange. While talking about the exchanges as well, I'm looking at the exchange, top crypto exchanges, how they are doing, because exchanges are a very vital figure within the crypto space, because they allow buyers and sellers to come together within the platform and participate and give people an opportunity without exchanges, it will be very difficult for people to have an opportunity or to have the investment window for cryptocurrencies, for stocks, even for Forex. Forex, they use brokers, but brokers as well, they are a form of an exchange because they are exchanging those fiat or local currencies globally for investors or traders to participate. Binance is down by 14.42% in exchange. Wow. I wonder what's happening with that, because I had news that on CoinDesk about traders. Traders are the one being skeptic towards the exchanges. Hence, you see these red numbers that on the screen. It's only just the red. The red is a sign of danger, and it means, okay, no, things are not looking too good today, particularly on the crypto exchanges, particularly not on the coins, because the Binance coin has a different look than its exchange. Coinbase as well has it. Now, remember the guy that I showed on the video is the guy that got hacked through the Coinbase exchange as well, which is not good at all. Well, looking at the news as well, just to add on the cryptocurrency space on what is actually happening, what do traders, professional analysts are thinking about this present moment in trading. Okay, we just came from threats from wars, and we are moving on from it now. It's Russia has decided, or Vladimir Putin has decided, okay, well, you know what, I'm not going to attack Ukraine. And then diplomatic talks have been initiated already. And okay, I just want to look at this story that I had, Bitcoin traders, okay, right there in the corner, okay. Bitcoin traders preparing for tumultuous March, Glassnode says. Okay, it's the 16th of February, and they are looking for March, and also it has to do with the interest rate story with the Federal Reserve Bank and them having to raise the interest rates in this March. This will also have tremendous impact on the market. So Bitcoin traders, particularly Bitcoin traders, are preparing for tumultuous March, Glassnode says. Traders are deleveraging. So when you are deleveraging, sort of like taking away, or it is the opposite of leveraging, because of expected turbulence coming from rate hikes and potential conflict in Ukraine. So we are having this sideways trend right off as of today. It is likely that this trend may last longer, even up until the end of the month, until something of relevance, something of certain, that is certain, that is for sure, that is going to be set off. What's going to happen? Then we're going to see a real market volatility happening. The volatility right now at the point in the market right now is quite low because of uncertainty that has occurred in the past few days regarding the war, regarding this and that. But besides that, we are also looking at the news across the Forex, or if I should say currency news. Looking at the currency news as well, looking at the dollar. The dollar has lost its power because after Russia has decided not to attack Ukraine, and then the dollar has, because when the people thought that, Vladimir Putin or Russia would attack Ukraine, the dollar and the gold gained strength in that time. Dollar eases as investors keep eye on Ukraine, retail sales strong. So coming back, so the dollar, of course, it eases. So when it eases, it had that surge, but that surge has eased down because of that announcement. Okay, New York, Reuters. The US dollar index was down slightly for a second straight session. On Wednesday, as investors watched for signs on whether tension in Ukraine could subside, but stronger than expected US retail sales data helped to limit the index's decline. So there is that index thing that they have that sort of like instead of the dollar falling stronger than it should, but the index. Okay, the index briefly paired losses after data showing US retail sales rebounded sharply in January, which bolstered the case of interest rates hikes from the US Federal Reserve starting in March. So coming in March, big things will be happening. As an investor, as a trader, be sure to watch out what's going to be happening in March, because big things are certainly going to happen in March. Expectation that the Fed will raise rates have helped to give support to the dollar. Wow. So if the rates, like I thought, if the rates are going to be increased, I thought people are going to be running to hedge into other instruments and assets, gold, cryptocurrencies, stocks, and so forth. But now analysts say that expectation that the Fed will raise rates have helped to give support to the dollar. If the support of the dollar continues, it's likely other assets that are pegged against the dollar could lose value. You're talking about cryptocurrencies, you are talking about stocks, you are talking about anything that is pegged against the dollar. Investors also are awaiting the release of minutes later in the day from the Fed's January meeting. So whatever that was discussed in the meeting by the Federal Reserve Bank has not been released. I've been looking for this information, me myself, and I could not find anything. That's because the minutes were not yet released, and I've been waiting ever since for the minutes to come out and the news to come out. But it seems like finally they're gonna come out. News come out. Investors also are waiting for the release of minutes later in the day from the first January. From the first January meeting. So when these minutes will reveal everything what the Fed had decided, whether they will raise interest rates. In fact, it will decide everything on what the investors should do in the crypto, in the stocks, wherever you have invested. It will affect the entire financial market landscape. Wherever you may be invested in, it will affect the entire market landscape. I repeat. But anyway, looking at the European, on the other side, going to Europe, coming from America, and now we're going to Europe, how they are looking, because it is, like I said, it's affecting the entire landscape of the financial market, not only in the States, but also in Europe, also in Asia. News came out. I wish that I could share that with you, but unfortunately, I did not bring that information. But most certainly, when it comes through, I'll share it and analyze it. European stocks higher on Russian troops withdrawal. So this whole Russian troop withdrawal sort of like brought the stocks higher. Troops are withdrawal. Heineken shines. Wow. Heineken, which is a beer or a brand that is based in Amsterdam, if I'm not mistaken, has been listed on the exchanges within the European market itself. So it has been the shining light in the European stocks, if I should say. European stock market traded higher Wednesday, continuing the previous session's positive tone after Russia announced it had pulled some troops back from the Ukraine border. The move raised hopes that armed conflict in the region can be avoided. So armed conflicts can be a problem for investors. As I was explaining, when there's something happening, people want to pull out. They want to be safe and be secured alongside with their families as well. By 3:30 a.m. ET, the DAX, which is a German DAX, one of the great indices in the German, in Europe, and in Germany, traded 0.3% higher than CAC 40. In the France, climbed 0.4%. In the UK, FTSE rose 0.1%. So things were looking quite good earlier on, but things are quite different now at this time, because I'm in South Africa. I'm in the afternoon session. In the night, I'm not too sure like what kind of a session. You must sort of like know the time zones especially if you're a trader. If you're a trader, you have to keep with the time zone. The first market to open as a trader is the Asian markets. Hence, you see people who are living in the United States will wake up 2 o'clock in the morning to observe the markets in Asia so that they can capture some of the opportunities that may come with the Asian market that is presented to every investor or trader that can engage in the market. And euro, looking at euro against the dollar. So I just want to compare the euro. The euro is the entire continent, backing the entire continent. The dollar is just a country, okay, packed together. Yet the dollar is stronger than the euro, according to. So the okay, no, this is the CAD. I'm looking for the euro. This is the I'm looking for the euro versus the US dollar. Okay, here I go. I can get the chart right there. So, wow, okay, the euro at this point in time is looking very good against the dollar. It's strong against the US dollar. The euro is the base currency at this point. If the euro is the base currency, it is the currency that you will see. This is the trend of the euro currency right now. Right now, at this hour on the 1 day chart, this is a 1 day chart. This is a big move. It has that engulfing candlestick. That engulfing candlestick, it shows that the euro will be strong against the dollar in the next few days or so. If you are someone that is invested in fiat currencies or in Forex, or you're a Forex trader or a speculator in the Forex, and you are hoping to see some opportunity, this is one of the opportunities that you can grasp on, because it is a readily time, is a time of turbulence flows of the markets. Even though there are uncertainties, surely there are profits that people can make out of the various platforms that they can take advantage and opportunities as well. And looking at the market as well, look at the US dollar versus the Canadian dollar. This is now something that is, we're talking about Canada now. When I talk about Canada, there are people who are against vaccination in Canada. Though there is a lot of turbulence and a lot of protesting happening in Canada, I can show you right now, the protests that are taking place in Canada right now are massive. People all over the world are watching Canada, and they are fighting for the fact that they don't want to get vaccinated, or people are they feel like their rights have been violated and they are being forced. Now people are told that, you know, in order to especially the truck drivers on the other side were told if they are not vaccinated, they cannot enter the United States borders, and that has also brought about unease within the people, saying, oh no, we can't take this, you know, this is our right. If I don't want to get vaccinated, that's my choice. But people are forced now all of a sudden to be vaccinated, especially at the US border. But now the president took to say this to the people, which is something that is, you know, scary to read about. Also, as the Canadian government is invoking its emergencies act to try to quell COVID protests. These are the protesters. These trucks are parked on a road that connects the United States and the Canada, and these roads are highly used by let me say, by logistical reasons, logistics, and transporting various goods and from Canada to America, and it's a major trade route, and most of these truck drivers use this trade route in Canada. But now hear what the president said. The Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced Monday that he is invoking the Emergencies Act, which gives the Canadian government the authority to take steps to restore order. This can be violent. This can turn out to be very, very ugly. Amid the blockades by truckers and other protesting the country's COVID-19 restrictions. Okay, these blockades are illegal, and if you are still participating, the time to go home is now. The president warns the people who are there by the Canadian borders to go home now, because they say these protests are illegal, and if people don't go home, something bad might happen to these poor people who are out there in the cold. There are people who have been there for days, who have who have traveled from long distances to come and join this protest of anti-vaccine. Another celebrity is a tennis player by the name of Novak Djokovic. He was supposed to play an Australian Open in Australia. He was not allowed to play because he did not vaccinate. Hence his name, he says Novak, no vaccination. And he stayed true to his name. And and he was chased out of the Australian tennis Open, or the Australian Grand Slam, him being number one in the world and him being the champion of that Grand Slam, came back this year and they told him, no way, you cannot play when you are not vaccinated. And though these things are happening in Canada, Canadian dollar, this is the base currency. The base currency is the US dollar. This trend represents the US dollar. Now, looking at the US dollar, it is weak against the Canadian dollar. The US dollar is weak against the Canadian dollar. That means the Canadian dollar is strong, even though there is these massive protests that are taking place in the country. The dollar's weakness gave the Canadian dollar to appreciate over the days long trading. So not all is bad for Canada, and they are standing up for their rights. It's kind of admirable. I really admire what these people are going through, the Canadian people trying to voice out their rights, saying that, you know what, we are a nation and we stand against vaccination. Okay, anyway, moving on, we spoke about ICO's initial coin offerings. One of the coins that I have managed to caught up with for someone who wants to invest to a future project that might come for cryptocurrencies, electronic energy. That's the name of the coin that is called. It is there's the information right here. It started in 2017. The ICO total token supply 0. So on 2017, and then it's the ICO will finish on the 2023, which is next year, February. So people still have the opportunity to invest in this up and coming token before it hits the market, before it hits the exchanges. This would be the perfect opportunity for traders to engage, and by the time the coin hits the market, you would make lots of money before start trading on it. And being an ICO would be an interesting, it would depend 50%, okay, 50% token and white paper, and then you can always go and research what is the token all about, what it does, electronic energy. So we just set to come out next year on February 9, the ICO, which stops in February 9, 2023. It's a long project that started in 2017. This is a very long-term project, and I'm looking forward to it when it launches. I'll be one of the people who are going to be speculating on this coin. So those are some of the big news regarding cryptocurrencies. Also, now let's go to the metaverse on the entertainment side of things. On the entertainment side of the news, Snoop Dogg goes further, deeper into the metaverse, into the Web3. The rapper himself now comes up and says Snoop Dogg's Death Row Records to become first NFT record label. Death Row Records was owned by a gentleman named Suge Knight. Suge Knight is now arrested. He's in prison because of the crimes that he committed. But now he had a record label called Death Row Records. Artists like Tupac, artists like Dr. Dre came out of that record label, and it was pretty popular at that time. Back in the 90s, it was one of the biggest, if not the biggest, hip hop recording studio in the West, in Los Angeles, and it was well known all over the world. Let's hear what he said. Now, Snoop Dogg is gonna put it in the metaverse or tokenize it. And when you are taking like a well branded or a brand from the physical world, like Nike, like and you are putting it into the metaverse or into the virtual reality space, you are doing what you call a process of tokenization. Okay, also spoke about. Snoop Dogg reveals that his recently acquired Death Row Records will be the first NFT record label. Wow, the first ever record label to go on the NFT. He also reveals that the label will be putting out artists through metaverse. Snoop has also dropped his new album BODR exclusively on blockchain platform Gala Music. So I don't know who advised Snoop Dogg about, the powers that lies beneath the blockchain, beneath the Bitcoin, which is the blockchain, the underlying technology of all cryptocurrencies, NFTs, and other forms, and also the Web3 as of lately. Also, the metaverse. It's an interesting phenomenon, but I think Snoop Dogg also has a number of projects within the metaverse. He also has property that he sells over there. He's pretty much involved when it comes to the metaverse and the development of cryptocurrencies. He's one of the few artists who are taking advantage. I'm telling you, man, in a future's time, I wouldn't be surprised if Snoop Dogg would have made a lot of money in the metaverse when it start to rise up to its highest rank, as a platform where it would be more available to more and more people. It is still in its early stages, so it is pretty wise what it's doing. And yeah, man, and he has all the money to back it up, and he is the one just shining and showing himself as someone who is a regular investor in the platform itself. Whew, I'm sweating myself right here, and it's been a good one. And I'd like to thank everyone for watching the show, and I'd like to tell everyone to stay tuned. Tomorrow, the Crypto King is returning for a show, and he has a special guest. And same time, same place, Shilenge, the Crypto Queen. She has 12 properties under the age of 30. She has achieved a lot. So watch out for that tomorrow on Empire Crypto TV. And as for me from Stone, thank you very much for watching and for being with me tonight. And before I close, I just want to read some few comments that have came through. And somebody said, hi, the greeting. Who is that? Wow. Don't that picture looks pretty? And of course, and then we have another one say, it's just people saying Jerry Moses. I don't know. Hello. Okay. There is no game here. Okay. Uh, okay. No. All right. That would be the entire platform of the comments that I was awaiting for. So thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the evening, and good night.